Hi, this is Catherine Rose. I'm with Board Game Geek here at SPIEL 2016. I'm sitting here with Mark Wooten from AEG, and he's here to talk about Siege. So, please tell me about the game.
So Siege is a very elegant game of deduction, a little bit of bluff for 2 to 6 players. The game is very simple to learn, but has a deceptive amount of play in it based on how simple you can see it is. The cards represent your castle, where a number of personalities exist to serve your purpose. What you're trying to do is to defeat, to win the game by having everybody else's king out of the game.
All right.
You can really only do, you've only got 3 actions you can do in the game by choice. You can put another player's card in Siege, and to do that you simply take a card out of your castle and place it in front. This locks this card. This card cannot be used for anything. You can declare an attack against a card that is either putting you in siege or which you have under siege, or you can use a card with a special ability which will cause it to sacrifice itself for an effect. There's 2 of these. For example, this one, the Chancellor said target card must retreat. So you could in fact sacrifice your Chancellor from somewhere in your castle, and I don't know where these are because I put them out randomly, but you could sacrifice the Chancellor. Probably found the Chancellor's the one doing the siege, of course it is, because I didn't look. So you can sacrifice the Chancellor and force somebody to fall back. There is a courtier that also has an ability. There you go. When you're either attacking somebody because you're under siege, or you're attacking them when you're in siege, what happens is the defender secretly compares the value of the 2 cards. If the value of the attacker is higher than the defender, the attacker wins. If the value is equal to the defender or lower, then the defender wins.
All right. The
attacker will always be destroyed, and the defender obviously survives if they win. So in this situation, 5 versus 4, the king would be defeated. You could always then use the ability of your knight, and of course it is the last one I get to jump in. The knight's job is to defend the king. So
you lose this card instead of the king, and you get to keep the king.
Yeah. So as you can see, there's a lot of bluff. The game forces you to lose cards, essentially. Your castle will shrink and shrink and shrink. You've got effects like the gatekeeper, who has an additional 5 power if they're on either board of the castle. So putting people into siege, using the Chancellor to force people back, looking at what position cards are in, understanding and remembering which card has won or lost, giving you an idea of what value is to try and identify where an opponent's king is, and how you can be in a position to defeat them. And obviously it works fine as a 2-player game. Actually, it's a very good 2-player game. But in a multiplayer situation, obviously there's a lot of bluff. Sometimes people will move out with their king because they don't want the king under siege. There is the one card I have mentioned, the assassin, who's only a 1 value but automatically defeats a king or knight. So information on where your king or knight might be is very important, as well as the gatekeeper. So there is a lot of stuff happening with a very, very simple game. The only other rule in the game is that if you are ever in a situation where you find yourself over an empty space, you have to fall back. But that can happen in the game, and you can use that to your advantage. And that's the game Siege. It's deduction, it's bluff, and a sort of little bit of intrigue, I guess. And
you said up to 3 players, or can you have more? Up to 6
2 to 6 players, yes.
Wow.
Yes, we've got a box full of different colours there.
There you go.
And in fact, we've even got an additional 7th card that can go in there as well. So once you've played the game a few times, if you want to make it a little bit more complicated,
add that 7th card, and then
there is a 7th card that can go in here. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Thank you so much. That is Siege from AEG.